So welcome to About That Action. I'm your host, Will, and I have a special guest, peace advocate, author, poet, gang specialist, mental health advocate, and father, and someone I consider definitely family and definitely a friend. Jason Davis. What's up, bro?
It's good. Salute, man.
Good,
Salute.
good.
Thank you for
Before we
having me too.
yeah, definitely. Before we get into the interview, I got this thing sponsored, man. Sponsored by a good friend of mine's, Jonna by Jay. She sells some dope specializing in curating organic and good skincare, hair care products, organic soil candles. I got some of her stuff too. I told her I was gonna look out for her. I got trying to spread this drain all over the world. She got some good stuff, bro. This is a plain Jane skincare. She got the drink for the bed. She got some stuff probably for your hair too, bro. I'm gonna put the link. I'll put the link
Right.
at the bottom of this drink, man. This is definitely Jonna by Jay. Jonna by Jay. She got a lot of holistic stuff, bro. But enough for that right now. But let's definitely get into this, man. Right, right. How do you think the youth? I mean, without how do youth heal? I mean, do you deal with hurt and anger without violence?
So part of my philosophy is, in order to deal with any crisis or any trauma, we have to go to the root of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're displaying behaviors, it's because you have a trauma. We have to figure out what that trauma is to eliminate those behaviors or those symptoms of that trauma. You know what I'm saying? So the behavior or the symptom might be drinking a lot of beer.
Right.
It could be sniffing coke. It could be, having random sex, unprotected.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like all of those things are like crisis to me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's things that lead to other more fucked up situations. So where did that behavior come from? It came from somewhere. You didn't just start doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What happened to you that made you start behaving like that? You know what I mean? So I break things down, study it, all kinds of stuff like that. So, me and my team, we recently had developed a bit of a tier system.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tier 1, it's a tier 2, it's a tier 3. You know what I'm saying? The tier 1 are things that you have no control over. So if you were born into poverty, you have no control over that. If you were raped or molested at a certain age or whatever age in a household, you have no control over that. What do we know about rape victims? They either get promiscuous, they get shut down, they do X, Y, and Z. Now, what happens if you become promiscuous? It's possible that you might get HIV, you can get STD, or you can end up in a DV situation. That's a tier 2. But if you catch something, guess what? You in a tier 3. No different if you were born into a gang because your father was gang banging. You made the choice in tier 2 to join the gang. Now you end up popping somebody, robbing somebody, you do jail time, you in tier 3. You get what I'm saying? All these things can be intervened and stopped. But you have to go back to where it started at. You have to realize that maybe because this happened to me and I had no control over it, that shit really affected my mind to make me think that what I was doing was right. And that's how I assess and break things down to get to the root of things.
Right. And I think in the article I read, you mentioned that we need to ask specifically boys, right? How are they doing versus what are they doing? Explain that.
So that's you went deep.
Hey, look, I ain't playing.
I like that. That's a look. Right. So the reason why I said, you know what I mean, you got to ask how they doing versus what they doing is the same thing. Same concept. Asking someone how they're doing means how are they doing mentally? What's going on with you? Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Because whatever's going on with them mentally will affect what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So what they're doing is really irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? It's really irrelevant. Like, why are you doing that? You know what I'm saying? What happens to you? What's going on in your brain? You know what I'm saying? What's going on in your heart, your soul? Like, you know what I mean? What's up with your temple that's making you behave like this? Because it's always a reason. We bump into kids that got the meanest attitudes. Like, what's
right, yeah.
We got the cookies, we got the donuts, we got the pizzas and the sodas. Right. most people would be happy for that, especially if
Right.
you ain't got no money. So it's like, why are you angry? You ready to turn the whole table over? Then you come to find out that, you know what I'm saying, father made it got locked up. Mommy couldn't hold it down, so she moved another dude in the house. He's upset about that. All of those things are things that can be talked out and processed because it's happened to many of us. So we know the answers on how to get over it. But if he doesn't get the answer from somebody, I expect him to do something stupid like we did because we didn't process it.
Mm-hmm. Right, right. I know we specifically talk about boys, but what about the young ladies? What I guess
I deal with, so right now I deal with a lot of young girls, and sometimes I think they got it worse than the boys
right
because
now, right.
I think the reason why that is because they advocate and they produce so much money for young male programs. When
Yeah,
you look for the girl programs, they non-existent. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? They gotta
Mm-hmm.
kind of like get in a little bit with the boys and hope they get some funding. But
Mm-hmm.
the girls go through a different set of problems. You know what I'm saying? And it's been so overlooked for so long
Mm-hmm.
that maybe 85% of my crisis comes from them.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Comes from them. You know what I'm saying? And they should be heavy. You know what I'm saying? Because
Prostitution is it? I heard a lot
you
of
think
that.
about rape, like so. You know what I mean? Just think about it. Somebody got raped. You know what I'm saying? They pregnant. You know what I'm saying? They in the shelter. They home and they in a bad DV. You talking about that's a lot of fucking crisis to deal with. You know what I'm saying? All at once, but you got to deal with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And women reproduce.
Yeah.
So if you don't get a hold onto that, the female, she's going to reproduce and start the cycle all over again. A male or a female, she's going to reproduce.
Right.
And that's a fact.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, definitely. Sicko, talk about that. Who's that?
So Sicko was the name that was given to me by one of the homeboys when I first came home, the blood. You know what I
Right.
mean? So Sicko was the name. They gave me the name Sickle because I was good for doing, you know, sick things. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? You know what I realized? I realized that as a gang member or just a street person, like the more conniving, the more gruesome, the more trifling shit you do, the more passes you get. You know what I'm saying? Like you literally get more. I get more passes. Like, so even when it's like shit I don't want to do, I can be like, yo, man, I don't feel like doing it right now. And it's like, you know, this nigga did like 9 things already. So it's like, all right, you know what I'm saying? And over,
Right.
let
Right.
him live and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Or I try to constantly outdo somebody in whatever criminal act it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and by me outdoing them, if it ever is a situation, a political situation, you know what I'm saying? If it's ever some politics that's played, I play that card.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I was taught like that. You
Right.
know what I mean? Because I've always been a part of a small set. All sets is always larger than me, so I move. You know, I don't like to describe it like that. Like I move like a snake. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't never did no sucker shit. Like, you know what I mean? I ain't got no dirt on my name to say I did some clown or sucker shit. But I move like a predator. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? In an environment that is not mine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I know how to move. You know what I'm saying? I know how to adapt. I know how to get along. I know who to line myself up with. You know what I'm saying? And if it's a problem, I definitely know how to handle myself. And it's just always been that way.
What's the difference between Sickle and Jason Davis? Or is there a difference?
Yeah, Sicko was in the criminal activity. Jason Davis wasn't. I mean, he not. You know, this person right here. I ain't into that. That shit don't even get you nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
It don't even get you nowhere. Like, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, back then, the name Sicko, I really believed into that hype. You know what I'm saying? Now, don't get it twisted. I am still currently still a blood. You know what I'm saying? And I'm currently still like, you know, leader of my set. You know what I mean? Which is extremely small because I asked those to denounce criminal activity. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It was simple. If you watch my video, I lost my lip.
Yeah.
I lost my lip and 3 teeth got bitten out of my mouth. I got stabbed in my eardrum, stabbed in the back of my calves. That was saving another blood.
Mm-hmm.
That was saving another blood that was out there from North. You know what I'm saying? A Pyro homie. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'll be lying if I said I didn't love that nigga.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But his big homie, that was my ace. You know what I'm saying? And I love that nigga even more. And I know I can't have that on my name. That nigga dying on my time.
Right.
So what happened was an incident happened. You know what I'm saying? He was about to get shot in the head. I intervened and saved him. Took the dude's gun, but in the process of the shit, the dude bit my lip off, and you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Shit got handled. Period.
Right.
But
right.
what happened was after that, see, those kind of incidents, they kind of get you, you know, the points that's needed and respect that's needed to go up, you know, to
Right.
other places
Okay.
versus just watching you just talk. You know, some of you just talk. Some people go into action. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And it doesn't always have to be violence. It could be, yo, I'm fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I'm 500 short on my fucking rent. I'm about to hustle. I'm about to stick somebody up. Hold, before you do that, I worked some overtime. Take this 500.
Right.
That's a real homie.
Right.
Cause 1, I gave you the money. 2, I also prevented you from doing something stupid that's gonna get you locked up. Because after that, you locked up. All you're gonna be telling me is, yo, can you help with the baby? Can you do this? And you know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? So I learned that it's the best way to be a homie is to always be there and to think of the strategic ways on how to preserve life. I could take all day long. I'm good. I could do that. That's nothing. We all, some of us is just good at that.
Right.
But even while you're taking lives, they're taking yours, and that didn't add up to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned to, even before I even got into, like, you know what I mean, doing the advocacy work, how to preserve life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Hold on 1 second.
Let's talk about how many tattoos you have and any significant stories behind any scars.
You said tattoos?
Yeah. Or any stories behind any scars.
I mean, I got
He like
I don't know if you can see that. I got, you know, a brand of West Side Rider, you know what I'm saying? And
okay.
burns. Yeah, I got burns on the arm for how we used to be brand ourselves as Bloods in New York. I got a tattoo of a 5 shining down on 1522, which is the 1522 is the set original Blood Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
What else? I got a bunch of scars on me, but you know, some of it is from banging out in wars, and some of it is from self-inflicted. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Most of it is self-inflicted. You know what I mean? The greatest war I fought was with myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's probably the biggest war I ever felt for it.
And let's go back to the cutting. What was I guess your purpose for cutting yourself?
I cut and burned to escape. You know what I mean? Mentally. You know, I you know, it started at 8, 9 years old. So I used to do 3 things when I was younger. I used to stick my fingers in water, and I used to, you know, play with sockets, and I shocked myself.
Oh wow.
I burned myself over a live fire, and then I used to bite myself. That was 8 and 9 years old. Over the years, it started to progress. So I don't know where I saw
Mm-hmm.
that people cut themselves to release mental thought anguish and stuff like that. But I figured it out somehow from watching TV, and gradually I started doing it. You know, it might, you know what? I'm thinking, I think I might have got that shit from like Saved by the Bell or some shit. Real talk.
And this is why Bob, that'd be my issue with television, yo. Because for that simple fact that a lot of kids don't even, sometimes they don't get that certain situations in front of
Yeah,
them.
exposed to it. Yeah.
They go to TV and see shit and then want to try things.
Yeah, but you know, see, it's so there are definitely two type of cutters. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's people that's like kind of like trying to experiment because they saw it, and then people that's really into it. Like, you know what I mean? I was already into like self-mutilation and doing that type of shit. You know what I mean? Because we're talking about 90, 98, you know what I'm saying? I mean 89 and shit like that. It was, it wasn't too much shit I could watch on TV. Like, we was stealing cable and shit. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, we used to get the swiggly lines and play the swiggly lines and listen to, you know what I mean, jukebox. Like,
right.
Like, I hope we can hear the whole song. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know if I got it from that. I experienced and looked at more shit than a little bit, you know what I'm saying? In real life, like my father used to go to these women's houses, you know what I'm saying, the projects. And it was, one time when I was a kid, I got hit in my stomach by another kid. He was older, because my father was doing, making moaning and noises in the back with his mom.
Right.
So he did that. So one time I'm there at a house, and he's in the back, and this older girl come up, and she's like 17 years old. So, I automatically start crying because I'm a kid. I'm like 9 years old. I start crying because I think she's about to beat me up. She actually turned on the TV, some cartoon shit, and she saw me crying. She put my head on her lap and she rubbed my back. And she was like, it's going to be all right. Because I guess she was more used to it. So I'm like, and that was the first time I felt like that kind of connection. I was like, oh man, I kind of like in love with her. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? In a like big sister way. So one time, mother gets knocked out. I'll take the money and I'm sneaking out the house to go get some shit from the store. She was like, what you doing outside? I bumped to the same girl. What you doing outside? I said, I'm about to go to the store, And I'm happy to see her because, this is, a connection that somebody that did something nice to me. So she was like, you want some cake? I said, yeah. So she take me upstairs to get some fucking cake. And she told me to sit down, same spot I sat at for the TV, in the couch. She comes and get the cake and come back out and she naked. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, nah, I get scared instantly. She lays herself on the couch and puts the cake, near her private. And she says, come and eat the cake. And I'm like, what the fuck am I, I can't tell you the horror like that goes through you, like, because you don't know what the fuck is going to happen next. Mm-hmm. She kind of mushed my face down into her and shit like that, you know what I mean? And, I felt whatever wetness on my face and was like, and got upset, you know what I'm saying, cried and and kind of left. But it's weird because it did something to me. It put a damper in a mean spirit for Black women in my head.
Right.
You know what I mean? I didn't really trust them like that. Thought they were weak. You know what I mean? And it definitely helped me treat them a certain kind of way. Mm-hmm. When I was growing up, definitely did. It took me a minute to be like, why should I not cheat on you? You know what I'm saying? Like, for a minute, you know what I mean? All girls in a sense, like, you know what I'm saying? See, those kind of instances can turn all kinds of different ways. I could have got turned off by girls.
Right. No, yeah.
All kinds of shit could have happened, like, you know what I'm saying, when it happens that way. You know what I mean? But, thank God I didn't and shit like that. But it's fucked up to be 40 years old and still those kind of memories happen in your head. You know what's crazy? How fucked up is this, right? So I'm still living in the projects in the building I grew up in, right? Now, the woman that I had sex with at 11 years old, she's sober now. She don't smoke crack and shit like that. I see her often.
Wow. And she don't remember you.
No, she remember. It, trauma's a weird motherfucker. I tell you that.
Nah, I'm sure.
It's weird. It's
So,
weird.
my thought, I guess my thought process, I know you feeling this way about black women and stuff like that, or just being that you have girls. How does that shift, I guess, shift your mental with that? How does that play a part? And you
I treat them
raising
like
young girls.
queens. I treat them like queens, overprotective, all of that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the, I don't know no other way to be. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? You know, I don't know no other way to be. Like, again, it's a difference between kids who have grown up with incidents that have been traumatizing
Right.
versus constant trauma.
Right.
You know what I mean? When you go through constant trauma, like several traumas, you know what I mean, every day, it does something different to the brain than just 9/11.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or Hurricane Katrina. It's a difference
Right.
when you're going through it over and over and over and over again. And some of those people that experience that might have a little bit easier time getting over that if they've been through that consistent trauma. You get what I'm saying? So when I look at my girls, sometimes the image comes up of when probably the most disturbing and shocking thing I've ever saw in life. And I've seen niggas get killed, shot, you know, stabbed up, hit by cars.
Mm-hmm.
But the most disturbing shit I've seen out of all of that was when I was 9. I heard arguing in the back. I went to the back and I opened the door up a little bit and I see my father there. My mother is on one side and another girl is on the other. I know the girl though. I seen her before.
Mm-hmm.
He's smoking crack. And sometimes I feel weird, you know what I mean, by
Mm-hmm.
saying some of this shit. So he makes the other girl give him head
Mm-hmm.
in front of my mother. So she crying. She like, why you doing this, Joe? Why you doing this? Why you doing this? Why you doing this? And he just don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So he makes her stop. He get high some more. And my mother's like in a bra and panties and the greatest some more, he puts her over his lap and starts like spanking her like a child.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just looking at this shit like in disbelief. You know what I'm saying? I'm just hoping I'm painting that picture for you on how
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just was in a fucked up household. Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, you
Right.
know,
Right.
I thank God that I didn't die at 12, 11, and 13 or 14 just doing some stupid brazen shit because I was out of my mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's hard you have to penetrate a lot of shit to get to the kids that been through that shit like I've been through, because you have so much anger and rage in you that anybody it could be a victim quickly. You know what I'm saying? Like drug dealers and niggas that got money, they recruit people like me because you can use it.
Right.
You can use it. You can use it to eliminate your opposition if you direct it right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I just got lucky to slip through some of that garbage.
Mm-hmm. Um, you, you mentioned in one of your interviews that you still feel the urge to cut.
Yeah.
Do you? Do you? And if so, why? Why not?
I haven't cut in like 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
maybe 2.5 years. Cutting is a different type of drug, man. Like I was addicted to opiates. I was addicted to a lot of different shit, alcohol, certain shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was addicted to that shit. I was addicted to like sex with multiple women, you know what I'm saying? Unprotected sex, you know what I mean, with multiple women. I was addicted to a lot of shit, like, you know what I'm saying? I had a lot of like nasty habits. Cutting is something different. It takes me to another world. It's a different high for me. That urge is like, because I would turn into somebody completely different when I do it. You know what I mean? I'm in my own space. Cutting is the only thing that I can control.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing. You know, it's the only thing in my life that I really can control. I can't control my kids. I can't control my kid's mother. I can control none of that stuff.
That's what I'm learning too.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But I can control that. You know what I'm saying? I can control it. And it was directly related to my mental health. So that's what I utilize it as.
Let's talk about I guess mental health and the stigma around it with I guess black men.
Of course, like, you know what I'm saying? The first time I got introduced to a therapist for real was at the age of 19. Crazy how that happened, because we was into a whole bunch of shit when we was in college, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we was in college, what ended up happening was I got my lip bit off. You know what I'm saying? After I got my lip bit off and I was bleeding because I got stabbed up too in the calf, I went upstairs to the house that we be at.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I had I had 2 apartments off campus, but I went upstairs to the spot where the homies be at.
Mm-hmm.
Not bloods. These are dudes I get money with. You know what I'm saying? My Philly homeboys. I'm bleeding all over the place. I go to the bathroom. My brother's there. This is homecoming weekend. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
So my brother like, yo, chill out. I said, yo, I'm looking at my face in the mirror and I'm mad. I'm really, really upset. You know what I'm saying? Because you seen the picture. My shit is my gums is showing. Shit is disfigured. My homeboy Cal comes to the bathroom and says, I got the HK. You want to light up the whole campus? I said, you know what? That sounds like a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I like this. This is my dude.
Mm-hmm.
My brother hear that shit and is like, nigga, no. Y'all talking fucking Taliban stupid shit. I don't like it. No. Just get him to the hospital. So boom. I started walking. I started feeling this like euphoric feeling, like, you know, a high. I'm like, yo, let me just go to sleep. This shit feel all right. I'm gonna be all right.
Mm-hmm.
I lay down for 2 seconds. They like, get up, gotta go. My kid's mother come. They like, yo, where's his car? She like, I don't know. She freaking out, but she gets her shit together. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to her, because she got the car. I got in the back seat with my brother, and she ran through red lights, and she get to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
This fucking movie shit.
Right.
I get to the hospital. The nurse, I'm in a wheelchair. I'm rolling up. The nurse is like, "What happened to you?" White nurse. You know, she funny as hell. The first thing she said was like, "You ever seen the movie Red Dragon?" I'm like, "Red, what the fuck is Red Dragon?" She said, "Yo, this reminds me of Red Dragon." I never understood what she meant until like 2-3 years later. I seen the Hannibal series, and where he bit the lip in Red Dragon. I said, this motherfucker making jokes like this, right? Boom, cops come. They want me to tell on who did X, Y, and Z.
Right.
I'm not worried about that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know, I'm being like kind of like an asshole, because I'm thinking I'm about to die, because I thought I got hit in the back of the I thought I got hit in the back of the head. I'm in the eardrum because I'm bleeding out the eardrum a little bit. So what ended up happening was my brother took control. Like, yo, he high off of whatever drugs they giving him, because he about to do surgery. I had to do reconstructive surgery and plastic surgery on my face, and then I had to work on my leg.
Mm-hmm.
He's telling them, yo, leave him the fuck alone. He gotta go. He about to get surgery. Like, don't ask for no more fucking questions, because he being stupid anyway. Cause I'm being like an idiot now. Like, man, shut up. Like, you know what I mean? I hope y'all don't catch him, because I'm talking stupid now, because I'm high and I'm losing a lot of blood. What happened was, the same way I got a lot of rings now, back then I used to have all 8 rings.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So they asked me, where do you work at? I'm like, Toys R Us. You know what I mean? I'm just talking too much. It like, you got all this from Toys R Us? Now I'm like, oh shit. Like, that sparked something that started to transpire later on. So boom. Hospital, they fixed me up, like, you know what I'm saying, on some special shit. Like, you know what I mean? I think I gave that nigga a present. The dude that worked on my face gave him a present. for Christmas, because that shit was remarkable what he did. You know what I'm saying? From what was going on.
Well, yeah.
Boom. I was in there for a week and a half. I get out. After I get out, I had a lot of work out there. So now I got to pick up and collect. So when I go to pick up and collect, you know, they're talking about spots being hit up and all this BS and stuff like that. I was on a mission because now I'm a little mad and upset. And now I got this fresh bottle of Percocets, Vicodin, whatever the fuck they gave me. I got a fresh, unlimited bottle of prescription pills, and I'm going retarded. We had a meeting at the house because we heard that people were getting robbed. After the meeting, during the meeting, somebody knocked on the door. It was a kid. He was like 11 years old. He knocks on the door. I said, well, "Who do you want to speak to?" I got crutches on. Who the fuck you want to speak to? He said, "I want to get that fire." I said, "Get fire from where?" He said, "From here." I said, "You ain't never got no fire from here." He said, "Yes, I did." I said, "You got fire from who?" Get the fuck out of here. You ain't get no fire. I slammed the door in his face. So now I'm like, "Yo, y'all niggas selling out the house?" They like, "Nah, nobody, you know." My man Cal says, "Call the kid back." But he got a poker. I'm like, "The fuck you want?" No. You know what I mean? We're not gonna poke the kid up. Yo, come back, come here. Point out the person that sold to you in here. He points to my homeboy Champ. Champ is high off of lean and shit and weed. Champ was like, whatever. Whoever wanted with us, we'd tear him up because we got guns. I let the little boy go because I don't know if I can control Cal, and I don't have the strength to be even doing all that, so I didn't do it.
Right.
I let the kid go, and I said, "Champ, you was a fucking fool." So remember the name, Champ and Cal. Cal tells him Cal caught a nosebleed and said, "Yo, Champ, I'm gonna shoot you in the top of your fucking head tomorrow." Just as a clear, straight up threat. He went in the room with his nosebleed, took his medicine, and that was that. The next day, me and Champ is playing pool downstairs. My kid's mother's there and my daughter. While my kid's mother and my daughter, you know what I mean, we ordered Chinese food, and Champ had got change. It was $5 bill. My daughter said, "I want money, Champ. I want money, Uncle Champ." And he signed it, Champ. And it was the weirdest shit ever. I've never seen anybody do no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's the first time I've ever seen him do some shit like that. It was dope, but it was like I just knew some new shit I'd never seen before. He signed it, Champ, gave her the $5. He said, "Yo, I use the bathroom. I'll be back." I knew he's gonna get high. He went, got high. That time he went upstairs, Champ came from the back. No, Cal came from the back while he's watching cartoons and shot him in the top of his head with a 45. You know, put him back up and put a hat back on his head. So I went back doing my business. I didn't know nothing about that shit. I get a phone call. "Yo, Jake, something ain't right." I'm thinking that somebody got jumped. I'm like, "Yo, listen, should I bring my gun or not? Because I don't want to walk into police." He like, "I don't know." I said, "Yo, come on, dude. I got crutches. Like, you gotta." So I just bought a poker instead. A poker. I go over there. I see Champ on the couch. I hit him. Boom, boom. Get up, get up, get up, get up. And I see this blood on his shoulder. I'm like, "What the fuck is it? Where is blood? Where the blood coming from? I can't tell." He got a hat on his head. I said, "Yo, I had 2 people with me." I said, "Yo, pick him up." They pick him up because I can't carry him with crutches. They pick him up. The Champ slips, his upper body slips out their hand, and boom, hits the floor, and blood starts squirting out the top of his head. I said, "The fuck is that?" Boom, freeze. I'm like, I caught a fucking body into some shit. We got a dead body. We all got blood all over us. Only thing that saved us is that I don't have no residue on us. You know what I'm saying? So we all cuffed up in the room. I could hear outside the reaction because I'm thinking he's still alive. I'm like, "Yo, just get the ambulance, blah, 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 blah." I love that little nigga. You know what I'm saying? I said, get the get the ambulance. That didn't come. So I guess when the coroner van came, you can hear the reaction outside, because we remember we're doing this on a college campus.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's
This
a
is
lot
all
of
at this all at Delaware.
all at Delaware. So they in an uproar outside. I'm like, what the fuck is that? He must be dead.
Mm-hmm.
So now we cuffed up. I'm like, yo, man, who the fuck you think did this shit? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to think of like enemies now. Who we gonna get? My man looked at me and was like, you know who did it? I'm like, fuck you talking about? You know who did it? He said, yo, who not here? I'm like, nah. Cal had killed them, left, and killed himself the next day.
Wow.
He checked himself in and hung himself.
Wow. So
He wrote a letter clearing us too.
So those were the incidents that I guess that led to you being the most wanted, right?
No. That was that's the start of the downhill shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's that trauma that didn't get addressed. So this story came about because that's what ended up getting me to a therapist. Okay. What happened was Champ was beloved. You know what I'm saying? His funeral was on Wednesday and Cal's funeral was on a Friday because they died so close together and their parents just did it that way. I didn't know that Champ's mother was a councilwoman. You dig what I'm saying? I didn't know certain things about this boy's life. I went to his funeral, and because I got caught with his body, when I came to the funeral, I came with a slammer. You know what I'm saying? I was at the back. It was flooded. It was a big funeral, and it was a lot of people. His mother started screaming at the front. This murderer came and started acting up, and I'm like, "Who's you talking about, me?" Right. And now I'm starting to I'm getting more and more fucked up and triggered. And you know what I'm saying? So my man was like, yo, Jay, you do not want to pull out no gun in this situation. Like, it's not even going to work. Mm-hmm. I'm getting more and more mad, you know, so I'm taking more pills. My man called me. I'm about to say his name. My man called me to the alley. He had came like 15 people. They strapped. They AR'd up and like they got big shit. He like, yo, Jay, we been at war since I came back from school. Mm-hmm. They think we killed them.
Right.
Because the nigga that hung himself, even though we was together, he wrote a letter saying he was sorry for doing it, but it was in police lockup and they refused to clear our names. They'd rather see the war go down. Mm-hmm. So they put out a word that if anybody goes to Cal's funeral, they gonna shoot up. Mm-hmm. So Cal's funeral was on Friday. I couldn't get one male to come with me. I had went with 4 girls.
Wow. So
I was already fucked up in my head. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm taking a lot of pills. I got my gun on me. And the girls drove with me. We drove around the funeral home 2 or 3 times. We seen spotters and shit like that. We parked in the parking lot, went inside. It was the most depressing funeral I've ever seen in my life because it was his mother there, maybe an aunt, and then it was his cousin.
There was only a handful of people.
That's it. And it was 2 other people that was in the room. I didn't know who the one dude was at first. I went to the bathroom and I felt like killing myself. So I took 8 pills exactly. I turned on the faucet and what you call it, and I sat in the toilet stool and I was playing with the gun in my mouth.
So this is all inside the funeral home.
It's in the funeral home. Somebody came in the door and interrupted me. And he just is waiting around and shit, right? So now I'm getting agitated. So I put the shit away and I come out the bathroom store. I'm like, who the fuck is this nigga? He's like, he handed me a card and said he was a grievance counselor from Delaware State University. Mm-hmm. That was the first introduction to a therapist.
Wow.
He must have spotted something in me that was off, and he came to me.
So with I guess with all this stuff going on, from you being a child to even getting into Delaware State University, like how was your, I guess, grades in school? I mean, what did you want to be as a child? To even I'm just saying, because I know you talked about a lot of stuff that happened, but even during all that stuff, you still, I guess, you would have to have kept good grades or still was in tune with school to even apply to Delaware.
So I was good in school up until the killings. The killings in the police and
So what age is that? I mean, what year, age is that?
That's the third year.
No, I'm talking about far as, how old are you at that point?
22.
Oh, so at that point, school was still there. You was going to school. You was getting good grades.
Yeah.
Even with everything going on at home.
Yeah, I fuck home. I'm not even worried about home no more. I'm like, I'm living. I live in Delaware. Ice. Look, let me rewind it through.
I'm talking about I'm talking about even we started even from elementary, middle school, high school. Let's stay in high school. So you went to high school. You was able to get your grades to where it needed to be to get to Delaware, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So even with all this stuff at this time, I believe your blood at this point. Yeah. You had the abuse from your father going on, but you was still able. Because most people probably would have not even went to school. Fuck school.
Got you.
I'm dealing with this shit at home. I'm dealing with.
Understand. Got you. I knew in my head education was always key. No matter what, I got to finish. Cool. You know what I'm saying? So that was already. And I had big homies that was bloods. Big homies was like, nigga, you drop out of school, you getting fucked up. Like I had that structure in my set. You know what I'm saying? And in my community, like, don't be no bitch ass nigga. Like you a bitch ass nigga if you drop out. Like that's how they was on it. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? So that school was always important to me. But I still needed some type of structure. I was wild. So, you know what I'm saying? Again, all these negative habits I picked up, being promiscuous, sleeping with multiple girls, playing with guns, playing with knives, self-mutilation, you know what I'm saying? What else? Anything you could think of, I was doing it. You know what I'm saying? So, and I had back problems. I got diagnosed with arthritis at 14. So they was giving me steroids and opiates. I had a really bad mixture. So by the time I got to college, the first semester, I had my daughter.
Right.
Second semester, she was born.
Right.
I was doing like wild shit. By second semester, I'm like, yo, I gotta sell drugs. I gotta do this. I'm gonna stick up people. I'm robbing. I think it's past the time. I was robbing a place. You know what I'm saying? I was robbing a you know what I'm saying, an organization. I was taking a truckload. Right. You know what I'm saying? I used to have fucking, you know, PlayStations and Xboxes stacked to the ceiling. Like, you know what I'm saying? Tigers, Denellis, all I was horrible. Right. Everybody had a mongoose bike, you know what I'm saying, on campus. I was retarded, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when it comes to like really crafty with that kind of stuff. So I got a kid, now I got an apartment. Now I'm thinking I'm Scarface.
Right.
That was the problem. The high from getting shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Look, the junkie, you know, he didn't have no money. So he gave me a fucking gun. Look at this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was doing like that kind of stuff. So my kid's mother was from DC. I linked up with DC dudes. I was one of those kind of people like that always was into something.
Right.
So this was nothing new. So I was doing school. It became too much when I got hit up. And then I had this unlimited amount of drugs for free. Because I had about $1,000, $15,000 habit on pills.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That I had to pay for. But now I got this unlimited supply. I'm saving money. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I'm kind of like really, really reckless. Mm-hmm. You know? And those two deaths back to back, they fucked me up. You know, it's funny because I was speaking to my daughter, my oldest, and she told me that her mother said that I changed when Champ died. Mm-hmm. For her mother even to say that, like, I asked her, I said, where the fuck that conversation even came up from? Like, you know what I'm saying? She was like, I don't know, but, you know, they was talking about it, and she told her that, and I was like, you know, when I thought about it, it did. Mm-hmm. It did. Because I just wanted so bad. I lost so much. I just needed him to be alive. That's all I needed.
Right.
I just really needed him to be alive. And when he wasn't alive and blood squirting out of his head, it was over. It was all of that kid rage. Like when I was 8, 9, 10, and 7, and my father doing all kinds of crazy and, you know, bullshit. All of it was just like, it was spilling back up because I never addressed any of that shit.
Right.
So it was coming up out of me like, grow up.
Right. talk a little bit about your, I guess, your time at. I know you touched on that a little bit. Talk about your time at Delaware State and the incidents that you can talk about that would led to you being on the most wanted.
What happened was
Delaware most wanted list.
Got you. What happened was I was dealing with cops was on my ass for a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I kind of slowed up, switched up, the game real quick, but
So this is from New York to Delaware. They was on you from.
hell no, it was nothing in New York. This all Delaware, like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, this is me causing a little disturbance that they didn't like. You can't get caught with a dead body, you know what I'm saying? My other partner got caught trying to move the drugs and the guns in the car, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Everybody held it down. Nobody told on each other. So they seen how solid he was, but they're like, yo, what the fuck was really going on that we missed? And that's how they approached it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They had got wind of some type of report saying that the company had a shrinkage of 195,000. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? That I didn't get brought in for that. You know what I'm saying? And so that was that. What else was happening? Little miscellaneous stuff, like, a lot of shit. Right. So what ended up happening was I'm just making money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I can't work at that job no more. I started working at the hair salon, Trade Secrets. Right. My homegirl worked there, you know what I'm saying? So I'm at the front desk, you know what I'm saying, getting my shit laced up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Every week. So she let me hold down that joint. And what happened was I had a conducting business weekly and week out, you know what I'm saying, making a good amount of money. It was his blood that came there. And I think he's from Georgia, some shit like that. But he was a local. He robbed somebody. It was in the papers. He robbed a older lady. It was a white older lady for a purse. He was purse snatching. He tugged on it, and it turned into an assault because she fell and broke her fucking hip.
Okay.
So this dude is beating up 85-year-old women.
Right.
And a white woman at that. You know what I'm saying? So he put a lot of attention on us, and that slowed down
what y'all had going on.
Whatever, you know what I'm saying? So he got locked up for this shit, and when he came out a year later, I felt that his punishment didn't fit, and
right.
One day I just decided to get rid of him. That's it.
Right.
Just like that.
Right.
I'm being as callous and real what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Thank God he didn't die. You know what I'm saying? But I'm being real. Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't honorable. It was some sucker shit, and
right.
It happens.
Talk about, I guess, life as a wanted man. What's going on? What's how your mental is when you was on the wanted list?
Oh, that was I think that was the most. I think out of everything, that was like one of the most traumatizing times. Like being on the run that long. Being on the run for 5 years was like the worst. You know what I mean? Sleeping in the craziest spots, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes with my daughter, you know what I'm saying, wrapping her up in my winter coat, you know what I'm saying? Taking off your shoes because it's a decent spot, but they got a dog, and you wake up and the fucking dog ate your damn sneakers, and it's like, yo, I can't impress dude to pay for it, because it's like,
right.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like stuff like that. You know what I mean? I became a lot more volatile when I was on the run. Right. I hung out in Newark a lot. And then people kept calling my phone saying that, the cops is busting down their door looking for me in Maryland, Philly, Pennsylvania. I got caught in Pennsylvania.
Right. So you saying it was the most difficult time. How do you feel? How did you feel after getting caught? What's going on through your mind?
I felt relief.
Relief?
I felt relief when he said, yo, listen, you Jason Davis. I denied it at first. He was like, he showed me my picture, and he was like, yo, you Jason Davis. I was like, you got it right there. He was like, He said, sign your name right there. And when I signed my name, oh man, I actually for relief, and I was going to jail. I was going to jail, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I was going to jail, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just got rid of some serious hardware out the house. So all they caught was the case for the hardware. They thought they was about to get extra shit. And I was like, oh man, I just got rid of everything because while I was on the run, I started a nonprofit organization in Pennsylvania. You know what I'm saying? Right. I got pictures with the mayor. Right. They gave us the keys to the park to clean up the park. Right. You know what I mean? And I was on the run. It's pictures with me in an Elmo outfit, dancing like Elmo with the fucking kids, giving out book bags and stuff like that. Like that shit was fun to me. You know what I'm saying? It was fun. Correction. It was hard, but that's when I started my career with doing the nonprofit and doing the public speaking and the advocacy in 2005, like the second year on the run. I started speaking publicly, you know what I'm saying, with Terry Williams. And when she found out I was on the run, she held it down. Right. So I was meeting governors, you know, it was bizarre, you know what I'm saying? Right. I'm going around the country. I spoke at the Essence Festival after Katrina, and it was in Texas.
Why you was on the run?
While I was on the run, I was. My panelist was Maxine Waters. Yo, I swear to God, that's my boo. Yo, she when I got locked up and I started getting on some Malcolm X shit in the prison, they put me in a hole, right? I wrote a letter to Terry. Terry had Maxine Waters caught a prison. Prison society came up. I was acting up. I can't. I'm one of them people that I can't stay still because I don't understand certain stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like when I first got to prison, I didn't have no clothes. They took me to the yard. You know what I'm saying? So at first I was doing some. Yeah, go ahead. I did some more bare feet shit at first, you know what I'm saying, in the yard. And I started doing, when they caught me, I actually had a gi outfit on, martial arts shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I was taking martial arts out there, you know what I mean? I took it back up. So they caught me with martial arts shit. The cops said that the reason why they was handcuffing my legs is because they knew me from martial arts class. I didn't know I was teaching them because some of them took local martial arts. So I was teaching them. So they cuffed my feet so I wouldn't kick. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Yeah, on everything. But when they arrested me, they was the nicest police in the world. You know what I mean? They kept saying that they hope that I get out. You know what I'm saying? Because I seemed like a decent dude.